Hi there, it's just a little quick video to show you how I'm processing Amazon flips. So basically what I'm doing probably each morning is I'm extracting from Keeper the current deals on Amazon and do some analysis on that in terms of profits, etc., etc. That then feeds into what I call this import file, and then each day I bring in the latest deals into this system. And so, for example, if this was a load of deals that I bought in yesterday, if the same deal was out there today, but the price hadn't changed, then I don't bring it in because I've already got the information. But if, for example, the price has changed or maybe it's gone away, then I update this accordingly, either with the new price or actually take it off because the deal has now disappeared. So what this is then showing me is a summary, and I can look at this via the entire list. So I've done this, and this has got 75 qualified opportunities in it, which is made up of all of these brands. And so I can look at this in terms of brands. I can look at it at category level by choosing these here. So I can look at it at list, what the next step is. Obviously, if I'm using wholesale, I can go by supplier, and also I can assign these particular categories in here to either to a list or maybe to a virtual assistant if I've got a VA that I want to start to do some work on these particular brands or subcategories or whatever. So from here I can then look at for example, what I'm doing here is I'm looking at anything where the average is in this brand, in this case, because I've just got list and brand. The ROI is more than or equal to 30%. So that's just showing me here all of the brands, as you can see, are average highest ROI 30%. I can also do this by ranges. So if I want to select certain ranges, it's not popping up. I think that's the zoom. Not quite showing it, but that would bring up. Let's see if I can move that over. Yeah, so we've got just some target ranges. So quite flexible in what I can do. I can look at opportunities and leads. I'll come on to that. I can display all of the types, one of the types, or if I want to actually specify that every time I run this, I want to see the full list and subcategories, then I can change the custom list to say when this list builds, just build it and show me the category list and subcategories. And from here, I can then drill down into the actual ASINs. So if I look at this one here that's got this one here, for example, Triumph, it's got four qualified opportunities. And obviously, they've all got suppliers because the supplier is Amazon. So if I choose this one, I see 4 ASINs. And if I choose this one from here, then I see all 75. So it depends how I want to work. If I want to work on a big list or a smaller list at a time, or I just might want to look at some of these brands and go, well, actually, that one looks quite interesting. So let me just take this one, for example. I select that and then work with qualified selection. That then builds the next screen with those 4 ASINs. And from here, I can do quite a few things. So I've got different screen formats depending on what you're at. And one of the nice things that this does is if I change this particular status to something, I've got a table where it automatically says the next step, and then it updates the next step, and then I can view via that next step. So for example, if I validated this product and my next step is to order it, I would change this to order. And then when I look at the view with items to order, it will just show me anything that's got order in here and a different layout of the screen. So it's pretty flexible. And once I'm in here, I can start looking at the various things to make a decision. So anything where it's got these green numbers, estimated sales, these are Amazon bought last month figures. Where it's yellow, it is an estimate based on the BSR. And if it's pink, that means it's just a sales drop. So if I was to look here, what I'm going to do now, I go into split screen mode on my Mac here because I just find it easier to use. So if I split the screen here and click on that ASIN, you can see there's a link, and I've got the parameter here set to automatically load up the keeper chart. So let me just log into that. So now I can look at this, make my decision. Do I want to do this? What do I want to do with it? And one thing I might want to do is I might want to track this. So I might want to track a product, and I can set the status here to track, and I know that this is a product that I'm tracking. One of the other things that I do is keep a track of how much competitive stock. You know, if I'm just interested in seeing, does this sell? You know, I can from looking at the data in here and offers. You know, I can see that if there are any third-party sellers on there already, you know, how much stock potentially they've got, and then if I look at it in a couple of days later and the stock's gone up or down, then I can track that, and it gives me a rough estimate of how many they're selling. So pretty good information that I'm keeping, I think. I can also, if I look at this product and I think, yeah, this is one that I might want to go. If I click on check, that brings me directly into the Amazon ad catalog, so I can very quickly see if I can sell the product. So if I click that and it's gated, obviously I'm going to get the message. If it comes up to the next step to let me put the offer in, then I know then that I can potentially sell this product. So really what that's done away with for me, I haven't actually stopped my license yet, but I don't need SellerAmp anymore, because SellerAmp I was using to validate numbers profit wise. Well, I've got that in here, and worst case scenario, I can always double check it with the Amazon calculator. Stock, I was using SellerAmp to track stock and what offers were out there from suppliers. Well, I don't need that now because I can look at that in Keeper. So yeah, it's going to save me another £16 a month on a subscription that I don't need. So if I do find something that I do want to order, then obviously in this particular scenario, because it's a flip, I maybe would change that to the next step would be I'm going to order it, and I can say, well, the maximum I can buy is 10. I'm going to order 5. Okay, and that's giving me a little track of what I'm ordering. And again, as I said, once I've got some products in here under the ordered, I can view them in just anything that's got an order, or I might want to convert them to a lead. So basically anything in here is an opportunity, and anything that then looks good that I'm going to follow up on, I convert to a lead. So I would just put a Y in there. Oops, sorry, a Y in there, and then convert copy selected opportunities to a lead. And that puts that then into a separate sheet and keeps it separate for the opportunities coming in. So if this ASIN comes in again tomorrow as an opportunity because there's a deal on there, the system knows that I've already converted this to a lead, and it wouldn't actually show it up as an opportunity, but it will change any pricing information or BSR information, etc., on the lead. So that does keep a little bit of the information updated. That's pretty much it. I'm just starting to use it, so I'm getting to grips with what looks like a good flip opportunity, but I'm sort of learning that as I go along. But what this does allow me to do is really keep track of what I've looked at, what what I've qualified out. So, for example, if this particular brand was gated, or it was gated and Amazon weren't accepting any applications, what I can do up here is select the brand and then click this to say update brand as gated. And once I do this, it gives me the choice to update the brand as gated, Amazon not accepting applications, or update it to say it needs approval. And that will actually change every ASIN in the opportunity system to either gated, not accepting applications, or gated, approval needed. So I don't have to touch these others if I do it once. And then when I bring the next day's opportunities in from the keeper extract, it automatically knows that this brand is gated, so it won't even come up as needing to review it. It would take it out of the pipeline. So yeah, it's pretty good. If I then go back to the opportunities, if I click on here, this then updates the opportunities file with any changes I've made, and you can see, yeah, so that's gone. So if I qualified a couple of out, then this number would change from, say I qualified out 2, I would now see that I've got 2 qualified profitable opportunities, but I've qualified 2 out, if that makes sense. And if I've got next steps, I can look at this it's almost like in terms of the pipeline. So I can look at how many orders I've got to review, how many ASINs I've got to review, how many of those ASINs am I tracking, how many of those ASINs am I ordering, etc., etc. So yeah, it seems to be working pretty well, and I've put a lot of effort into it, and hoping that I can now start to see the fruits of my labour. So anyway, I hope you found that interesting, and if there's any questions, then let me know. Thanks.